So a while back I posted a video making some chicken wings in my air fryer, and I had a subscriber of mine ask me how they would come out in the oven. I speculate they're going to be about the same, since an air fryer is basically just a miniature convection oven. The advantage to having an air fryer is, you know what, you're not going to heat up your whole house. It's going to come to temperature a lot quicker, things like that. But you know what, let's go ahead and put it to the test. Anyway, as far as our chicken wings go, we're going to be doing kind of a southern fried chicken wing kind of a recipe. We're not going to be separating the drums from the flats. We're going to go ahead and throw this in, actually with the entire wing tip. What I'm going to start off with is marinating this chicken. Marinating, for all you guys that happen to be English majors. And I'm going to go ahead and add this buttermilk to a separate bowl. You could pour it directly over the chicken, but what I want to do is I want to add a little bit of this hot sauce. So, in trying to keep from cross-contaminating, I unscrewed that with one hand, and this is the absolute hottest thing I've ever put in my mouth, and I got a little bit on my finger, so I'm probably gonna have to be dealing with that. Anyway, Mason, come around here right quick. I'm gonna go ahead and add some of this hot sauce to this buttermilk, and this is what we're gonna go ahead and flavor our chicken with. Anyway, Mason, bend down and get your big old noggin in here. How hot is this hot sauce right here?
Ooh, that stuff's pretty dang hot. Great smell.
I've eaten like ghost peppers, I've eaten reaper peppers, you know, any kind of pepper, and this stuff here is the hottest stuff I've had in my mouth. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and put about 5 dashes in here. And we're just gonna kind of stir it in. And we're gonna let our chicken marinate in this buttermilk hot sauce for about 5 to 6 hours. If you don't have this hot sauce, which I'm assuming you don't, any kind of hot sauce, when I got more on my fingers. Anyway, any kind of hot sauce is gonna work for you. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour this in. Make sure our chicken is coated, and we're gonna throw it in the refrigerator for 5 hours. In the meantime, let's get started on our fry batter.
Damn, I'm surprised you put that much there.
Excuse me if I've had a hard time talking. I did just lick that hot sauce off my fingers, and I'm telling you, that little bit that was on my fingers, extremely hot. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get our flour ready to fry. I have 2 tablespoons of baking powder. And we're gonna hit it with that with about 1.5 tablespoons of baking powder. Then we're gonna go ahead and hit it with, I'm gonna be using a seasoning called Slap Ya Mama. Some good stuff here. This was sent to me by another YouTube channel by the name of Booger500 US, the air fryer queen. This is actually getting hot. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and throw some of this in, and this is gonna be to your taste. And I'm just gonna stir this in. When our chicken is done marinating, I'm gonna dip it in here and get it in the oven. So we've added that seasoning to our flour. We've let our chicken marinate for about 5 hours, and we're about to see how this turns out in the oven. Now, before I mentioned the air fryer queen Booger500 US, listen, if you're into any kind of air frying or anything like that, run by your channel. I'm gonna leave a link to that channel in the iCard above and description below. Now, one of the things I like about the air fryer as opposed to the oven is that it can come up to temperature in no time. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna turn on the oven before we start getting into breading these wings, just to see how long it's gonna take for us to get up to 400 degrees, which is what the temperature is gonna be that I'm gonna cook this at. So let's go turn on this oven. All right, so we're gonna be checking on the time on that. I have my gloves on, like I told you, that hot sauce is extremely hot. I'm gonna go ahead and mix in my seasoning with the flour. And we're just gonna kind of dip this in, and I'm gonna set this on a rack. You're gonna want this to be raised up a bit. And if you'd like, you could just throw this chicken into a bag and go ahead and do the old school 1970s shake and bake on it. But I find a lot of times if I do it just individually, if I'm just doing a small amount like this, I think I get a little bit more see, you know, more of this on the chicken as opposed to just shaking it. Anyway, let's go ahead and finish this up. Okay, so we got all these battered up. Now what we're gonna do, just gonna scoop these down a little bit so I got a little more room. So I'm gonna go ahead and use some of this olive oil spray. We're just gonna hit the top of this right quick. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and let this kind of soak in for about 5 minutes, and we're gonna flip them over and hit the other side with some of this olive oil as well. So we've had these chicken wings sprayed down, they've sat for a while. Now if you wanna compare chicken wings in the air fryer to chicken wings in an oven, it just hit 400 degrees on a convection oven. I'm not sure if I mentioned that earlier or not. It's taken about 17 minutes to get to that temperature. By this time, if I was doing this in an air fryer, we'd almost be done. So that's one thing to kind of take in consideration. Plus, you're not going to be heating up your house. It happens to be kind of a cooler day, you know, cooler time of the year, so that's not as big of a factor. So we're going to go ahead and flip these wings over. We're going to spray the other side and get those coated up pretty good. And then we're just going to go ahead and throw them in the oven at 400 degrees on a convection oven. And I think we're going to go about 20 minutes on it and check and see how they're looking. All right, so our first 15 minutes has gone by. Here's kind of what we're looking like right here. I'm just gonna rotate it, not that it needs it, just for precaution. And it looks like I'm gonna go ahead and throw it in for another 15 minutes and then we'll check back again. So there's the timer going off. That's another 15 minutes. Let's go ahead and take a look at it, see where we're at. All right, looks like we're starting to get a little crisp, well, still not as crispy as I'd like, but technically we're done, but I'm gonna go ahead and, yeah, the bottom seems fine. I'm gonna go ahead and let these go about another 7-8 minutes. Now, if I was doing this in my air fryer, we would already be done. So first of all, we've gone 30 minutes cooking here. It took about, I forgot how long it took to heat up the oven, but anyway, let's go ahead and let this go another 7-8 minutes and see what we're looking like. All right, so our timer just went back off. Now I do have to say, this is looking really good right here. I mean, this is about as good as any air fried chicken that we have. Might have taken a bit longer. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this out, let it cool down. We'll get into it, taste it in about another 10-15 minutes. Now it looks like the oven did a great job on these wings. Like I've said, and I'll say it again, the air fryers that I use is more of a convenience more than anything else. So you can do anything in the oven that you can do in any of these air fryers for the most part. Anyway, for all you guys out there that are fans of that early 1990s TV show, I'm here with Head Savage from the Wonder Years. We're about to get into this chicken right quick, so go on and get in. I told you that spice wasn't going to be too much.
Mmm. That skin's nice and crispy. That meat's nice and tender. And you just get the hint of that hot sauce in there. It's perfect.
Anyway, I think it's a success. This is starting to build up a little bit of heat though.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, somebody had asked in a previous video where that hot sauce came from. The hot sauce is called The Inn, and Mason bought it at a place called what?
the pepper stand.
Where was it at?
Estes Park.
Where?
In Colorado.
Estes Park, Colorado. Anyway, that's the hottest stuff I've had. We probably only put about 6 dashes of that hot sauce into that buttermilk marinade, and it's like starting to build up a little heat.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, it's not overpowering though. Anyway, thanks for stopping by No Hippie Barbecue. I appreciate it. Comment, subscribe, and I'm out.